Hello, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful weekend and a nice trading week. For the dollar, what I'm expecting here is to see a little bit of a pullback here, just back down basically to around that 96.60 level. Could push down into around 96.50 before another push back up in to test the upside resistance around the 97.40 level, and then from there I expect to see a resistance of that zone and then pushed right back down into basically that 95.70 and further down towards that 95.15 level on the back of probably a further anticipation and probability of the Fed actually cutting rates in the future. So I think after Wednesday we'll probably start to see dollar start pulling back a little bit here as the minutes will basically show that they're starting to really consider the rate cut. That's just my anticipation of it. But as far as the price action is concerned, looking for a little bit of a pullback, as I said, around 96.70 down to around 96.50 possible before another push to the upside here for what looks to be an inverse head and shoulders pattern here in development up into around 97.40, at which point we should see a breakdown back corrective move into the lower 95 to 95.15 area near term. So by near term, I mean probably in the next week or so, we'll end up hitting into the lower levels here, but we still have to obviously push back down into 95.90 to 95.70. So again, just to repeat, looking for a little bit of a dip here and then upside move 97.40 to 97.45 possible. Then we'll have that corrective move back into the 96 to 95 at 80, 70 levels. We'll probably chop around a little bit here first, try to get back above that level, and then look for further weakness to develop from there. Now, for gold, I see pretty much the same thing, which mirrors the inverse of what the dollar is expected to be doing here. So again, probably see gold try to push up just a little bit here on the back of the dip in the dollar, maybe up to about 14.13ish, and then we'll see that turn back down, test support, and then we'll start breaking it slowly but surely up into the 1385s, and then looking for that retest around 1355 to 1360s. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if you look back at your daily time frame view. Let me just go back to that real quick. Zoom out a little bit and let my chart catch up with itself. You can see that again we were looking for that 1370s in the past. We were trying to hold on to that zone, and that became an area of resistance. And then further still back here we had those 1355s. And if you pull the chart a little bit to the right here, as you can see, we did actually have, resistance in this zone as well. So I'm looking at those 1350s to 1355 as a level to watch for a higher level of support to be made. And then from there, we'll look for a retest to the upside. Basically just depends on where we have that dollar actually pull back from. And again, I think we're targeting the proper zone here. And if I switch over to spot gold for a moment, it'll show it just a little bit more clearly than with the contract price. Looking at that weekly time frame view, you could see again basically that we were 1375 holding that resistance level, and that was where we were having some issues. And then from here, again looking at it, you could see that we were chopping around that 1340 to 1350 level. So that would be a level that we should be looking for some kind of support to be made here. And kind of zooming in a little bit as the chart's a little bit more difficult to read there for all of you. So again, around that 1340, 1350 level, we should start developing some kind of level of support, I would think, and then we'll start looking for that next move to the upside for that 1380 plus test into the longer term upside move that I'm expecting here for gold. So again, it's a little bit of weakness here near term, followed by a nice reversal that we will see probably within over the course of the next week, maybe week and a half, 2 weeks. But again, we should create a little higher level of support. We did have a heck of a move here, very, very strong move to the upside, and I expect to see a little bit of a chop and then again a little bit of a dip into those 1340, 1350s for spot gold, that is. And for the actual futures contract, we're looking in the 1350 to upper 1340s for that support to develop at that level. So we'll have to see if that pans out or not. I think that it's pretty much a solid area to look for support at this time, given the geopolitical risks that are looming out there, as well as the overextended indices that we have. So I think that bears a pretty good area to watch for that support to develop in that area right around here. So here's a quick look at crude oil daily time frame view. As you can see here, we rejected pretty strongly those upper 59s, pulled back very aggressively here. We have a rising three pattern here, which usually is indicative of a corrective move, which usually has a continuation move to the downside here. Watching for that 54.70 area as a potential level of support. So in essence, I expect to see this resistance start basically continuing to hold, I should say, back down and into those 54.60s, and then expect to see another push to the upside here, see if we can break back above those 57.50s. It's possible that we will do it. I think that we probably can, but in the event that we do fail at this juncture, then we'll be looking for a pretty aggressive move back down into those 51.50s. So it all depends on what happens when we get either past or to this point. If we can break it, then we'll be looking for another move back up to test those 60.70 to 60.80s. Otherwise, we'll be looking for that move to the downside here. So the main point of the whole price action move here is resistance around that 57.50, 57.80. 58.12 could be a level that you should kind of respect at this point. We did kind of trade a little bit around this area several times even in the past, so a little bit of a head fake to the upside possible here, followed by a move to the downside around those 54.60s, which is where we had a little bit of an issue before, and then we had that nice little breakout run here. So again, could revisit that, confirm it as support, and then we're looking at a further potential move above and then through into those 60.80s or so, just shy of 61. If we fail around that 57.50 level, then again dropping back down into around 51.50s. And finally, here we are with natural gas, looking at the daily time frame view. We had a very nice move above the 234 resistance area that I was watching, and then we came up into the 244.7s, 245s, let's call it. If we do in fact break to the upside, obviously we'll be looking for a test of the 251 and 252s just about, and then we'll see another push obviously to the downside here. Now I'm kind of firmly with the belief here that we are going to see near-term pullback. This move did get quite ahead of itself, I think, maybe 2.34 retest followed by another test of the trend line resistance. If she breaks it, then obviously we'll see that retest a little bit higher, around 2.515-ish, maybe hitting 2.52s, and then again another sharp move to the downside. Either way, just matter of time, not if. If we do end up failing at that 2.4 area again, then we'll be seeing a return back into the 2.22s. Then we'll probably start bouncing around a little bit for a little more ping pong action. Again, as I pointed out in the past, looking at the weekly time frame view, and looking back in time, you do see that we kind of have these wild swings as she starts getting into the sub 2.5s. So this is pretty much what we're starting to deal with here, is these larger swings. So in the event that we do pull back and we start breaking the bottom here that we put in, let's say around 2.1, I think it was around 2.15-ish, 1.6, then we could start revisiting the next level that I'm watching, which would be just around that 1.93 area, and again probably see a nice little rally at that point back to the 2.16 to retest that break. In the event and when that does happen, then we'll be looking for another bottom test around that 160, as historically we saw back in around 2016, March of 16. So it is possible that we are going to see these wild swings continue, both in the upside as well as downside direction. So as I said, looking at that daily time frame view, it's possible that we do see that retested at 2.515. Just a matter of if we can break those 2.4s. So if we hold support, like I said, around a 2.35 level, then we'll be looking for another retest. If she can hold it and break, then we'll be looking at those 2.515s to 2.52s before another move to the downside to retest the 2.34 support. If she breaks it, then obviously heading back 2.22s, and then slowly starting to ping pong around until we get back down to the 2.16 level. So I'll update you all next weekend. I hope you had a phenomenal trading week and weekend, holiday weekend to be exact, for those of us in the United States here. Just a friendly reminder to everybody, again, I will be going on vacation towards the end of July here. So again, I'll continue to remind everybody. I think next weekend is pretty much, maybe I have another 2 weeks here. Let me just double check here with my calendar. And so I'll have the 13th, and the last update will be on the 20th, and then the following update will be on August 3rd. So you have 2 more weeks of public videos released. Will not be posting on the 27th, as I'll be out of the country, and then on the 3rd of August is when I will be back and able to do the public analysis as well as member videos as well. So again, Hope you all have a wonderful green trading week. Watch out, we do have Powell testifying on Tuesday around 8:45, I believe, and then on Wednesday we have FOMC minutes as well as Powell speaking earlier in the day that same day, which is Wednesday, I believe around 10 a.m. So make sure you're cognizant and aware of all that. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them at the bottom of the video. Like, subscribe to my channel. Any comments appreciated below. If you ever want to reach out to me directly, you can reach me at thetradersperspective@gmail.com.